Well, good morning, folks, and welcome to my back garden. I was watching a video the other day talking about different hides that a wildlife photographer was using for approaching his subjects, and he was talking about having an old children's play tent that he'd converted into a little hide. And I thought to myself, I did that once. Years and years and years ago, I bought a pop-up tent and I sewed a lens sleeve into it, and then I've never used it. And I thought, well, I'd get that out and I would put that in the garden, and I would spend a couple of mornings trying to see if I could get some really kind of close, intimate portraits of garden birds, because we feed the birds here in the garden, and we get quite an amount of traffic of a morning. So thought that might be quite good fun. And also because the clocks have changed now and it's just dark in the evenings, I've realised that mornings are the only time during the week that I'm going to have any chance of getting out and watching wildlife or doing photography. So I thought I'd share this experience with you as well. But yeah, I've set the camera up, and it turns out that while it was many, many years ago that I made the little lens sleeve, it turns out that the 300mm 2.8 fits through it just fine, and I've got that sitting here on the Nikon Z7, and I've got it all mounted on, I don't know if this can show it, a fluid gimbal, which I'll probably do some kind of a tripods and tripod heads and supports video at some stage, but I'm not going to really go into it just now. But the fluid gimbal, I've come to the conclusion that that is the way forward for supporting the 300 and maybe even the 500 PF lens when I want to do video, because it has the advantages of a gimbal and it's got the fluidity of a video head. And with the Gitzo modular system, I can just exchange it out by exchanging kind of the whole middle of the tripod for my ball head whenever I want. And yeah, it's super smooth and it's surprisingly no heavier than the carbon fibre gimbal that I used to own, and it's way more usable than the Wimberley Sidekick, which I've been trying to use for a little bit and I've actually just not got on with particularly well. But anyway, I can see that the birds are here, and yeah, I'm going to try and take some pictures. So yeah, I'll talk to you again in a bit. Magpie is here. The magpie here now. I need to be really, really quiet. I don't even know if this is going to pick up on the mic. But, magpies and crows are so beautiful to me. Really, really like watching them. So this might be a really nice opportunity to get some close-up, intimate shots of them. All right, folks, that was a really nice hour or so sitting here watching the birds. I think I've got some nice pictures. It's certainly been really nice watching them so close, just going about their business, eating the food that we've put out for them, and generally kind of mooching about in the garden. Been really pleased with the 300mm f2.8 this morning for two reasons really. Obviously f2.8 is good for getting a little bit more shutter speed early in the morning before the sun's really up, and being able to freeze the movement a little bit better. The birds really don't stop. They're constantly on the move, especially when they're feeding on the ground like this. And the other thing is, of course, at f2.8 I've got that subject separation and sort of narrow depth of field, because it's not a particularly big garden and I want to be able to blur out all the background, so like the fence, and there's a compost bin, and there's tiles on the roofs on the other side of the fence, and so having the really big aperture means that I can really blur those out nicely. Yeah, it's going to have to stop doing this just now for three reasons. One, you can probably hear there is somebody using some kind of quite heavy machinery a couple of gardens away, I would guess, and it's really disturbing. Two, time's getting on and I need to go to work. And last but most certainly not least, I've run out of coffee in here, so it's time to stop watching the birds now. And plan is, actually I'm going to come back out here tomorrow morning as well, and I'm going to pick the video up there, and we'll continue to see what comes to the garden tomorrow. I'll put some more bird food out overnight, and also I'm going to put the wildlife camera out in the garden, and we'll see what comes here at night as well. So yeah, continue this video tomorrow morning. Well, good morning, and welcome back to a second morning here in this little hide that I've set up in the garden to watch the garden birds. There have been a few birds coming in, but if anything, there have been fewer this morning than there were yesterday. Anyway, this hide's been really good. I'm really impressed, considering that it's just a cheap pop-up tent that I have sewn a lens sleeve into. It's a single wall tent, and it's been up in the garden for a few days now and it hasn't let in any water, so that is definitely a bonus. I feel that the midge net on the front of the tent, which is what I've sewn the lens sleeve into, isn't really opaque enough to conceal my movements in here, and some of the more kind of shy birds have not been coming as close as I'd been hoping for. So I think in sort of future uses for this tent, I'm going to add a bit of camouflage netting on the outside over that to kind of break up any movement that's going on inside. And I'm also going to enlarge the hole through which the lens sleeve goes, because I made this, must have been 10 years ago by now, and then I didn't have a big fat 300mm lens like I have in here just now, and so it's kind of restricting the movement that I can kind of move the lens, so I need to kind of enlarge that, but that's just a few minutes of sewing round, so that'll be very easy to do. I'll do that before I use it again. And yeah, I think having done this these couple of mornings, I think I feel quite comfortable using this in a more kind of wild situation, and I'll have to think about where I can actually put this, where I can leave it out somewhere, and have a little project where I look for birds sort of outside of the garden, or oh god, Jackdaw's just having a fight in the rooftop a couple of houses away. Excellent. So I'm probably going to have to call this a day soon and pack up the hide, actually, because it's been on the grass here for a few days and I don't want to kill the grass. And well, pack up and go to work, really. That's the same as yesterday. But I finished the video with any footage that came on this guy, the wildlife camera, which was in the garden last night and indeed the night before, actually. And I've not looked at the footage yet, but all the food that was in front of it had gone by this morning, so I'm pretty confident there'll be something on there. And yeah, I think I got some nice pictures yesterday. I've got a couple today, but I'm not so sure that I've got much this morning. And as always, and I keep forgetting to say this, but it's true of all of my videos, the photos will actually be on my Facebook page, and there's a link to that in the description, and I think there might be one on my YouTube channel page as well. Yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed these couple of mornings in the hide. It's been quite good fun. It's a fun little project to do. It just goes to show you don't need to go far away in order to have a little wildlife photography project and watch some really beautiful wild birds. And yeah, if you've enjoyed the video, please like and share and leave a comment and tell me what kind of birds you get in your garden. Anything exciting coming through this winter, for example. Lots of people have been getting interesting migrants coming past. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.